If you are in your 20s and you're wondering some of the things you need to do to get ahead financially, in this video, I'm sharing 5 things that helped me get ahead financially in my 20s that I think you should copy as well. The first thing I did was to pay off my student loans. This was one of the things I did that definitely helped me get ahead financially. In my 20s, I had a goal to pay off my student loans, to pay it off fast, to pay it off with aggression, to pay it off and just get rid of it completely. As soon as I graduated university, and I didn't get a job right away until about a year plus after. As soon as I started that job, I automated my payments that were going to my account. I've done a couple of videos on this channel about student loans, and I'm going to do way more as time permits. But one of the things I did that really helped was I knew exactly how much was going towards interest and what was going towards principal, and then I doubled down. So, for example, in every paycheck, I think I had $250 from every single paycheck going towards my student loan. So that's an average of $500 a month. Again, at the time, I didn't have as many bills as I currently do now. So all my free cash flow was available to go towards paying off this debt. I also wasn't making that much money. So as much as possible in your 20s, you definitely want to make sure you get rid of consumer debt wherever possible. So things like credit cards, student loans, anything you can pay it off wherever possible. The second thing I did in my 20s that really helped me get ahead financially was to buy a car. And I know this might seem ridiculous. So buying a car, financing a car are two very different things. But buying a car in my 20s definitely helped me get ahead financially. One, having a car meant that I could get a job anywhere I wanted within or outside my city, because being mobile lets you be able to make money in different places. Okay. So if you're still taking the bus, there's nothing wrong with that. As much as possible, maybe save up to get a car, because that way you can move around more freely, more frequently. Obviously, before you get a car, you have to get your license. So please get your license if you haven't already done so. Having a car allowed me to take jobs that were further away. For example, I was working in a particular company that was about 45 minutes away from my house. If I had to take the bus, that would have been a 3-hour journey. Okay. Definitely would not have taken the job if I did not have a car, and that job paid more. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. Buying a car in my 20s definitely helped me get ahead financially. As well, having a car in this day and age can help you do so many other things. Uber, skip the dishes, delivery, so many other things, Amazon delivery, so many things. A car is definitely an asset. The third thing I did in my 20s that really helped me get ahead financially was to improve my financial literacy. I still do that to this day. I say it on the channel all the time. I read or listen to or watch something about personal finance and financial literacy literally every day, just because I like expanding my knowledge, guys, so I can teach you folks on this, on this channel. I didn't have a lot of savings early on. Again, like I said, I was a fresh graduate. I was not exactly making bank, but what I was doing was improving my financial literacy such that, okay, if I know how to manage $20 well, I will know how to manage $200 well, which means I will know how to handle $2,000 well, which means I will know how to handle $20,000 well. Okay, if you're faithful in a little, you'll be faithful in a lot. So what I was doing was, I know I'm not making that much money now, but a time will come when I will be making that much money. So I want to gather the knowledge now, so I know how to handle that money when that time comes. Okay, and it has served me beautifully well. Every single thing I learned in those days, every single thing I learned in while I was still up and coming, I put it into practice today. Things like giving. I was giving even when I was making less than how much an hour. I continue giving even now. I was saving as much as possible when I was not making that much money. I'm also saving now. I was paying off debts, when I was not making that much money. I'm debt free now. I was investing as well, when I wasn't making that much money, and thankfully I'm still investing till this day. I was reading up on real estate. Some of you know on this channel, I think we put down our first property when I was 25 roughly. Yeah, that's when I put the first $1,000 down on a pre-construction. So my point is, learning about things in your 20s, even if you can't do anything about it, you can learn about it such that when the time comes and the opportunities come, you'll be able to take advantage. The fourth thing I did in my 20s that really helped me get ahead financially was to buy my first property. So I mentioned that a little earlier in the video. So I didn't know much about real estate, but I was reading up on it. I knew about pre-constructions. I knew about, open houses that were done. So what I would do, even in my undergrad days, I used to do this even in undergrad, people. And again, just because I wanted to help my faith and I wanted to expand my horizons a bit. While I was an undergrad, what I would do is sometimes just for fun, instead of going to the club or going wherever, I would go to I would go to different houses that were newly built and open for, to the public to come view. That was the first time I ever did that, and I thought it was so much fun. I remember going to this massive house. It was so beautiful. I mean, to me at the time it was beautiful. And I was just like, wow, so this is what a new house looks like. It was just really nice to put something in my purview, okay, in my view, that really was just, it helped to expand my mind. Okay. So by the time I was in my 20s, when I had a little bit of change, I was like, okay, I have some savings. What do I want to do? Even though I didn't know much better then, the first thing I did was I went to an open house for pre-con and, put some money down and, kind of went and took it from there. Thankfully, before the property was done, I had also got married, so myself and my husband ended up buying the property together. But my point is, in my 20s, I was expanding my knowledge and expanding my experiences, working my investment muscle. Okay. Number 5 thing I did in my 20s that helped me get ahead financially was to get life insurance. I think I got my first policy when I was 20 or 21. Okay, it was a universal life policy. So that's why when I tell people I know about universal life, I had it for a while. I had more than one. Okay, it's one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of the products, because I had it. But my point is, I got life insurance when I was in my 20s, and it definitely helped me get ahead financially. So my husband and I, as soon as we got married, we both had our life insurance policies in place when we were both younger, and of course we are paying a very cheap rate because of that. Okay, so those are the 5 things I did in my 20s that helped me get ahead financially. If you're in your 20s, by all means, try your best to do any one of these things. Even if you don't get them all done in your 20s, try and get them done in your early 30s, mid 30s, whatever time frame you choose, just get them done. See you in the next video.